Good morning, sports fans of Lincoln and Logan County. You're in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. Josh Komnick, along with the furniture guy, Jake Johnston. And we're out of Jake's, Woodlawn Road here at Jake's Furnishings, the old furniture store. Still going here on a winning Saturday.
A winning Saturday.
We love all
Big
those.
Big win last night.
Oh, huge win. Coach Alexander is here bright and early with us with the smile still on the face as it was last night as he was in the pregame with us. But Jake, huge game by the Railers. Just a battle for 4 straight quarters, and then we even had to go a little extra.
That's exactly right. A little bonus basketball last night.
Yeah, if you paid your whatever it cost, they let us get it for free for that thing. I love it, but I don't know what it cost, but it was well worth your money last night as the Railer faithful were out in contention. I know our side was full to our right as we were bringing you the game up in the balcony, and then I know we were over into U-High section too because my family was over on the U-High side.
By the sounds of it on the radio there, it sounded like the place was absolutely packed. I don't know what the capacity is for that place, but I think the fire department may need to be called.
Check that again. But, yeah, as times were going by in the game, you could hardly hear yourself think coming just the noise and the echo in that place. Coach Al, we've done it again. I was just looking through the record books last night of the program. 1940 is the latest that it goes back into the record books. And I counted now our 52nd regional championship, I believe, out of, 73 years up until now, 2013. So you bring another one home.
Well, the kids, they really earned it last night. They wanted to keep the fans around for a while, I guess, because I thought we had time to could have finished it up, but when you got the length and the athletic ability that they had, the skills, you put a 6'7" guy on the basketball, it makes it hard to get it in bounds, and they make a run. And he really is a good player, the Bates Diop boy, and he's got a great future ahead of him.
We've been getting phone calls, text messages all morning. When is the replay going to be on? WLCNonline.com. And when we talked to Jim just this morning as he was getting all the stuff set up, he said he's going to try and get it up today. So hopefully by tonight you can check WLCNonline.com. A lot of messages, a lot of texts about the shot. Was it a 2? Was it a 3? We'll talk with Coach about that as the time went on. The shot that actually took it into overtime was close to being coming home and not being a winning Saturday at Jake's Furnishings if they ruled that a 3. I'm not sure. Jeff, the color guy for the Railers alongside me all season long, said no question it was a 2-pointer. His foot was on the line, but it will be on WLCNonline.com. The whole game will be up there. Give it tonight, maybe first thing in the morning, but you can check it out all.
How many people are going to try to fast forward right to that
point? So Jim's going to have to do work on a Saturday morning to get that thing edited and online. But the Railers win 48-45 in overtime, bringing home the regional championship, and I call it a drought, and most Railer fans would think it was a drought after we bring home almost one every year, a 3-year drought, but they bring one back, 48-45. The Railers win 20. They're now 28-4 on the season. They dropped the U-High Pioneers to end their season at 22-6, and of course the Railers move on to Wednesday night, the sectional first round. Wednesday night at 7:30 at Mount Zion. We do have some ticket info for you, and we'll go over that as soon as Coach gets out of here and probably has the guys coming in for a little. Shoot around, a little soreness, get the soreness out, because Coach, it was a battle last night.
Yeah, it was, and Gavin, I saw him. The kids are already out at the school, and I saw him before I left, and he took 6 stitches in the lip last night. So it was a battle, and our kids hung tough, and they played big, and this group's got a lot of fight in them.
Conversation on my way home was 3 kids, my 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and a buddy of mine's 4-year-old, on exactly why Gavin was bleeding, why does he come off the bench, and how did he get hit. And we had 3 different stories going on the whole way home, but all they saw was one of their favorite players with a bloody lip, and it looked like a golf ball inside of his mouth. But Coach sounds like he's doing got some stitches, and but it's probably going to be, you can't bring him off the floor, especially in a game like that. He never came off, got a little wipe. I'm sure he was kind of nasty, but I'm sure he was probably drinking a little bit of it too. But you do those things when you're a competitor.
Well, I was a little mad at him because I had to burn the timeout just to get him.
Oh, I thought
I needed that timeout.
I thought Denise was going to say she was a little mad at him for having to get that blood out of the jersey, but you couldn't get him off the court, and I'm sure you won't keep him off Wednesday night either.
No, he's fine. He's just got a good little gash there, but it's all stitched up, and he's a young guy. He'll heal quick.
The Railers were led last night by Max Cook with 17 points, Gavin Block 10 points, Edward Bolby 10, Will Podbelsic with 8, and Tyler Horsham with 3. Maybe the play of the game was the last, in overtime, the last possession, U-High. The kid didn't score, but boy, did he make a big defensive effort. Joey Olden with a big steal late in the game. U-High was led by Kata Bates-Diop. He had 20 points and I believe 12 rebounds. Schroeder, one of their only seniors, he had 12. Wildermuth with 7. The other Wildermuth with 4. And Dooley with 2, Coach. But getting to the game the way it started, almost perfect for the Railers. We score, I think, 3 straight possessions. Podbelsic starts the game, the senior, with a pull-up jump shot. Then I think we come down and hit a 3, maybe with Bolby. Gavin Block with 3 straight rebounds on the defensive end. The start had the Railers and the Railer crowd into it early.
Yeah, and I think it jumped up to 11-4, and then I think they scored the next 7 or 8 points before we got the score. We went a long period of time there at the start of the second quarter without scoring, and from there on it was just a battle.
Coach, we talked about it in the pregame last night. Both teams are going to have to take blows by the other team, 5-7 points where they're going to rattle off in a row. We did that. We'd rattled off some in a row there to take an 11-4 lead after the first quarter, and then it was U-High's turn. They brought their A game back a little bit more. Their shots started to fall a little bit, and it was just that 2 good teams putting 2 little runs together. But give the Railers credit, they didn't really let a run get past, I think, 7 points, and that was a big key.
Yeah, and I think if you look back at the statistics, I don't think U-High was tied or ahead until they hit the shot to tie it at 41, and then they went up 2 different times there in the overtime period before we regained the lead, and that's just a great basketball game to watch. And I know from my standpoint, yeah, it was a good one, but I'd rather win by 20.
yeah, your nerves would last a lot longer. I know mine would have. 11-4 after 1. U-High outscores the Railers in the second quarter 7-4 to make it a 15-11 lead. And Coach, we had times in that second quarter, especially late. I think 2 minutes ago I looked up, it was 15-11. I told Jeff, let's hit a few baskets here and get this lead into 7 or 8. We had that opportunity. Free throws just weren't falling for us in the first half.
No, we didn't hit many at all. And then I think we started the third quarter. We didn't hit any, but I think we hit them when they counted. Right. I know Max hit his down the stretch, and he's the one we have, him and Gavin, to have the ball there late in the game, and they came through.
Talk about your senior, Will Podbelsic, tough all night, played the point of the 1-2-2 most of the night, only played 6 players last night. He hit his 3 game wasn't on. I think he had 1 in the first quarter, but after that, the pull-up jumper, the guy was flying all over the court, going after rebounds, not necessarily getting the rebounds all the time, but scrapping around as always for Will.
Well, and that's, kind of gone to the other kids. His type of play has really made our other kids play to his type, and that's great because he is one play will stick in my mind, and it was down at the end you were setting where it's late in the game, and the ball was loose, and he ended up diving for it, and I believe he knocked it off of one of their players and retained possession. And just little things like that the box scores and the papers don't show that were very important parts of the game.
Well, as we talked, a low-scoring game early, and then, of course, with overtime, we got into the normal scoring as the Railers putting up 48 points. But every possession counted last night. We go into halftime at 15-11. What was your message to the guys? Were you happy with where you were at the time? Obviously, with the lead, you're happy with, but knowing that we could have extended that to at least 8.
Well, yeah, we thought we could have had 8 to 10 point lead from the free throws that we missed, and I think we might have missed even a layup or 2 in there. But our message was you can't come in here and sit down and relax and then not go back out and be ready to play. And it's hard to do when you play as hard as they did the first half. To come in and take a break and go back out with the same type of intensity. but our kids really done a great job last night, and it was very evident of the outcome.
Yeah, start the third quarter. I think Max hits a 3 to start the third quarter, and that's kind of been our MO this year of not coming out in the third quarter and going right away. But Max, we get that lead built up. We score 14 in the third quarter. Normal U-High with 10, so we're looking pretty good, Coach, going into the fourth quarter. We hit some big shots there in the third, still rebounding really pretty well with the size that U-High had. They were in foul trouble with the 2 Wildermuth twins. They were, to me, making some just dumb fouls. I mean, there were some times where those guys were in the game for most of the game, Coach. This could be we could be pretty bad today because they're 2 tough players.
They're just hard-nosed, very physical, big.
Not very smart. Yeah.
Nice size.
No, they just simply plowed over us sometimes.
But they got a motor. Boy, they just go, and they play so hard. And, sometimes their decisions aren't very good, but, that's what makes them the players that they are, is how hard they play and work and crash the boards. And our kids done a nice job taking some charges on them and blocking them out. And I thought, and our kids know right now, a big key for us to continue to play is how we're going to rebound. And I thought Gavin was big on the boards. We kept the boards ball alive a lot of times. Max had some the second half, and it was that's what we've really stressed. But we really tried to get them to come out and really get after it the second half, and the kids did that.
Second half was a little bit different, Coach. They tried to switch up their defense, 1-3-1, some more of a man into the fourth quarter. And I don't know that people realize how hard it is to play against their 1-3-1 when you've got 6'7", and not just 6'7", a non-athlete. You got an athletic kid with a reach of 7 foot or better. You really have to lead your guys. You really have to put something on the passes. And I thought against their 1-3-1, our passes were crisp and almost like a fire from the center fielder throwing home to get the runner out at home. I mean, they had some oomph on them.
Yeah, they had a hard time covering that, and that was a fear I had going into the game because that's a defense you don't face. Mm-hmm. I think that a half-court trap is the first time this year that we've really seen a really good 1-3-1 half-court trap, and we knew that going in. And realistically, as a coach, you don't like to look ahead, but here for the last week, we spent a lot of time on the 1-3-1, knowing and thinking that that's a chance that we'd have to play against it. And I thought our kids executed just really well against it. They moved the ball. The skip passes were there. Skip down the corner, skip out of the corner. We had the shots that we had. Pod was able to drive the baseline a couple times, and realistically, I wish they'd have stayed in the half-court 1-3-1 because our kids done an outstanding job.
Yeah, we had a little trouble with them late in the fourth quarter and then overtime when they went to man and started to turn up the pressure a little bit. Before we get into the fourth quarter and overtime, we got to take a quick commercial break and pay some bills. We're out here at Jake's Furnishings, located at 1100 Woodlawn Road. We'll be back here in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCN online. Winning Saturday out here at Jake's Furnishings, located at 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Josh Komnick along with the furniture guy Jake Johnston and head coach Neil Alexander coming off a big victory, regional championship. I wished Mr. Gerald Gerke a 89th birthday, Max's grandpa, last night before the show started. I told you we'd bring home a regional championship. It wasn't quite as easy as I thought, but we did bring it home, Gerald. 48-45, the Railers with the regional championship. They move on Wednesday night at 7:30, Mount Zion High School against Chatham Glenwood. 3 teams that will be in that regional sectional complex, Taylorville. Congratulations to Taylorville, all their struggles throughout the years. Happy to see that they're in the sectional championship. They're going to take on Champaign Centennial Tuesday night at 7:30, and then the Railers and the Titans clash for the third time in this season at 7:30 on Wednesday night. Let's move, Coach, real quickly into the fourth quarter before we get into that Chatham game that would preview a little bit. Fourth quarter, U-High, we go in, I believe, fourth third quarter with about an 8-point lead, and things looking good for the Railers. Momentum on our side. They start to turn it up. Their pressure hurts us. One key stat I thought that your stat man gave me last night, Andy Fitzpatrick, the Railers had 11 turnovers, but U-High only had 1 steal. And a lot of those turnovers were fumbling passes or fumbling the balls off our hands out of bounds, missed passes, not just sometimes uncareless, but yet give some credit to U-High. Their pressure was pretty good.
The pressure was good, and, those are the type of turnovers you like, the ones that don't lead to easy layups for them. And we had a couple travels in there, and, we tell the kids we'd rather throw it up in the stand so at least we can set our defense up if you're going to have to make a turnover, take a 5-second count, whatever you got to do, but just don't let them score layups and get into get excited. And the 11 turnovers really against that type of pressure is not too bad.
Right, yeah, I thought we handled the ball exceptional through 3 quarters. Really the fourth quarter and overtime is when hurt us, and it is really tough against their press. You put the Diop kid guarding the ball. When you have the baseline, it's a little easier to run. When you don't have the baseline, boy, it's really tough to get around that kid. And even if you inbound it to not necessarily the corner, but normally where we inbound it, he's coming with that length, and another guy they got there to trap, and it's tough to look over, tough to see. You got to do something quick, and I thought they sped us up quite a bit in the fourth and the overtime. But credit the guys. They just kept battling. They never relinquished that lead. We hit some big free throws. Free throws were not good through 3 quarters. I thought in overtime and the fourth quarter, guys stepped up. As you said, Max Cook, Gavin hit some big-time free throws late in the game.
Yeah, and I told them at halftime that free throws were going to be the difference in the game, and, it turned out that way. So our guys really need to they played a great game, and we want to pat them on the back, but not too hard.
Well, yet there's still things to improve on.
Yeah.
Of course, it wasn't perfect, but we'll need near perfection on Wednesday night. But, Coach, leading up to the overtime, we're up 2 points. They've got the ball. I think they called a timeout with 12 seconds left. You threw a little bit of different defense at them. Almost had Max Cook playing man-to-man against Bates Diop. We held him. We knew they would probably kind of go to him or Schroeder. But yet the guy that didn't attempt a shot all game, and it always seems like that. I mean, one guy steps up against the Railers, and it probably happens to everybody, but the guy hadn't even attempted a shot, dribbles up, leans in, questionable to some, not questionable to others, was his foot on the line. The ref clearly stated from the beginning, 2-point shot. Jeff Benjamin, the play-by-play guy, said he clearly saw it, that it was a 2-pointer. I don't know, from your angle, probably not a good angle to see, but really, really close.
Well, I thought his whole foot was inside the arc. I didn't think there was even a question about it, and I know some of our coaches thought it was over, and luckily, the officials were right on top of it, and I think the officials done a nice job.
I thought they did, yeah.
I thought it was the 2 games that we had, those guys, I thought they had outstanding games, and we did win, but I think I would have said that regardless.
I think the IHSA does a good thing on keeping one crew for the whole regional, and you kind of get some consistent play.
Yeah, well, you say that, and then next week we get a group on Tuesday, a different one on Wednesday, and the one on Tuesday goes to Friday. So, you say something good about the IHSA, you got to be careful.
I'll just be quiet now.
Yeah.
It's just better to be quiet now. But okay, it's a 2. We go into overtime. Guys hit some big shots. I think Will Podbelsic hits one on the baseline. Max Cook gets a big 3 there in overtime. Some big free throws again. And again, we hit 3, and the big play of the game, especially to propel the Railers to the win. We're up 1 point. They call a timeout. Their point guard dribbles up against our point on our press, which is Joey Olden, the long hands of the law, and he gets a hand on it. It deflects off of their point guard after he hits it, goes right to Max, almost like a free gift, and Max cradles it up. They foul him. He steps up, 2 free throws. Boom! They got a chance to tie with Diop, but he takes a long one, and we could tell from where we were, Railers win.
Yeah, and we just talked before we came back on that I thought he had more time to get it closer to the basket. But I think our kids, we knew he was the one that was going to get the ball, so we tried to keep him in front, and it was a half-court shot. So, but
we were at a point. Max hits those 2 big free throws where no less we're going into double overtime.
We're going into double overtime.
So a huge steal by Joey, a great deflection, a guy that doesn't score. One of those things that not a lot of people are going to know that weren't at the game. What really happened? Well, Joey gets that big deflection and
I drew
goes
that
right
up
to Max.
that way.
Yeah.
I had Max
There's
right
no
where
doubt.
he's supposed to
Right
be.
there, yeah. It's almost like a quarterback throwing to a guy for the other team. But we'll take it, and the Railers win, go on for their regional championship, and then, Coach, Wednesday night, a team that we've seen twice already, but we haven't seen the whole squad from Chatham either way. First time Daniel Helm wasn't there. The next time Peyton Allen was with the sickness. Both those guys are back. Right now, Coach, they're coming off wins of Lanphier, Southeast, and Sacred Heart Griffin all in a row on the road. Maybe the hottest team that will play all year.
Well, if the HSA'd work on it, maybe they could just make them play a whole round robin of the Central State 8 Conference before they get to the state tournament.
It should be an all Central State 8 sectional.
Yeah,
really.
If it was seated right, it should be.
Yeah, so you got Taylorville in along with Chatham, and Coach, you guys, 2 coaches know each other for a long time now, good friends. It'll be a battle. The Chatham Lincoln rivalry through the tournament that they host in midwinter is always a tough one. They'll have a ton of people here. The Railers will have a ton of people here. If you don't get excited and ready to play Wednesday night, you're wearing the wrong colors.
Yeah, it'll be a bloodbath, and we just have to go play, and they're thinking the same thing. I'm sure they're not real happy they had to prepare for us again, but I know he feels much better with the core that he's got to play with, and you mentioned the guys that were gone. Cole Harper is 6'4" sophomore guard. He wasn't around the first game either, so he played down at the Meyer. He was just getting back then, and he's a very solid player as well, so it'll be really a hard game for us.
Yeah, well, till you take the old adjective where it's hard to beat a team 3 times, and the Railers, they've already done that to Lanphier, where Lanphier beat them twice, I believe, and then they come back and beat them the first round of their regional, and the Railers are going to be going for that always tough 3 times in one season. That'll happen Wednesday night again at 7:30 at Mount Zion, and we'll have, after we let Coach go, we'll have some ticket information for everyone after. But Coach, another good one, and you've got some things to prepare for here in the next couple of days. Plus, you've got to probably get over and watch Tuesday night's game between Centennial and talk a little bit about Taylorville. How nice it is to see them get out of a regional.
Yeah, Coach Vickers has been around a long time, and he's done a great job. But the pieces were together to coming up. The coach previously there had spent a lot of time on fundamentals, and it shows. Coach McVickers, he's put things together. He's made them believe, but developing your fundamentals just doesn't happen overnight with one coach. So, the guys that have been there, they've done some things with the fundamentals and things, and that's the way it usually happens. And, he's done a great job putting them together, and they must be playing exceptionally well. I haven't seen them play since the Meyer, so I'm kind of excited to see them play Tuesday night.
It'll be a good one. Of course, Finke, the kid from Centennial going to Illinois, is going to be on display Tuesday night over at Mount Zion, so get your tickets early. That's not a big place to host a sectional, so you've got to get your tickets early, and if you're not able to get a ticket or can't make it, of course, we'll be bringing you the game on 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. Coach, great job. Get over and get the guys going this morning and get a little soreness out, and then we'll see you guys on Wednesday night.
Okay, thank you. Just another thing, our fans were outstanding
awesome.
last night.
Yeah. I've been in a lot of big games, Coach, for the Railers, and I don't know if I'd been in next to the game that we played at Lincoln my junior year against Decatur with the
Stephen
Decatur, which the outcome wasn't very good, but that was second to the loudest thing I heard last night.
It was outstanding, and they're very important to our kids, and they're a great 6-man, and our student body was outstanding.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you got to love.
thank you, and hopefully we'll have your support again this week.
No question, they'll be there if we can get enough tickets. We'll have almost the whole town there on.
Coach,
Wednesday.
you have a big event this weekend. You were saying earlier.
Well, my mom and dad's 60th wedding anniversary.
Very awesome.
60 years, so.
That's pretty amazing.
Yep.
Can't celebrate that with a regional victory any better. So, Coach, get to practice, and thanks for coming in this morning. Great job last night.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to take another quick commercial break. Be back at Jake's Furnishings, 96.3 FM and WLCN online.com.